All right. Oh, goodness. It was one of those days when I was trying to get everything ready and going. And bring the music down a bit here. There we go. So, yeah, was originally intending to start like an hour earlier. But when you get a kitty cat that demands attention all the time, I have to get her settled and make sure she's okay because I have of all things, a high maintenance kitty cat. Some cats are okay, some need lots and lots of attention. Let's see here. Might as well get into that. Tonight's topic. Something I really haven't dug into the past 30 years because, well, when you grow up and become an adult, you have to do all kinds of stuff like bland, boring work. And I can make the music go away now. Yeah, there we go. Get that settled. There we go. Oh, and right off the bat, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, whether live or lurking or checking me out later on a replay. Oh, Killer Rabbit from Space. Yes, yes. Happy New Year to you and Happy New Year to everyone out there. It's crazy. We're going to have to get used to writing 2024 instead of 2023. And just when I got used to writing 2023 on everything, now it ups and changes. But that's how it goes. Let's see. Oh, yeah, yeah. I haven't watched that in ages. And Melted Copper. Hello, Melted Copper. Gross. Those are like books with words and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the books with words and stuff kind of lead up to the comic panels with pictures. Or as I forget who said it. Books be wordy. I forget who said that. Some famous person I don't really pay attention to. They're complaining about books be wordy. Let's see. Yes. Those pesky books costing money. No, creative writing. Might as well get into the show since I'm kind of going at it already. Now, creative writing has been like a hobby of mine for the past 30, 40 years. I just haven't really done much with it once I got into my 20s and started working real jobs and being part of the labor force or whatever, the workforce. Something I touched on in past live streams. But now I think this year I'm kind of like going to take a closer look at my writings, some of the stuff, short stories I've written, oh, 20, 30, 30 some odd years ago. Kind of doing something with my interest in creative writing. I won't say I'm a aspiring writer. I'll say I'm a hobbyist writer. It's a hobby. It's something I enjoyed doing many years ago, many decades ago. And what I've let's see if I can fire up my desk cam here. Let's see, make this go away. Make that. There we go. Yeah, Melted copper. No, no, books are nice. Books can be your friends. Books are entertainment that don't require batteries. So yeah, they're energy safe, whatnot, whatever you ever how you want to put that. It's like they don't need batteries, they don't need charging. They're not like your tablets or your cell phones. Now, every so often, if I go to a bookstore, I'll look see what books they have on sale for uh, creative writing or something that I can use as a reference in my own library. Because if you enjoy reading or collecting and reading, you probably have a huge library at home, your own personal library where you have your favorite books by your favorite authors and whatnot. I'm going to get some water there to wet my whistle. Now, every so often, I will come across a book sale or college bookstores. College bookstores can be great because they will sell off a lot of books. And in some instances, just give away books that they don't need anymore. And it's amazing because this is what I've picked up recently from a college bookstore that was having a huge clearance. They were practically giving away a lot of books to keep from, I guess, throwing them away, and it's amazing. I just finished cleaning some of these off to get the like little library stickers because these were, I guess, part of the college library, practically new. And I was looking through these, thinking, these have never been picked up. These have never been read. And it's amazing because I just came to the realization that college students do not read, or at least they do not read books. See, I was some of these I was browsing through earlier. Imaginative writing, the elements of the craft. Never been opened before. Looks like it's been picked up a few times and probably put back on the bookshelf. Some student going, this looks too much. I don't want to check this book out of the library. I want to play on my cell phone or play computer games or some such thing. And this one I was breezing through earlier, the Right Brain Workbook, 366 exercises to liberate your writing. I was checking out some of these exercises and they look really interesting. Even if I never do anything with my interest in creative writing, it'll be mainly for my own edification. I don't know. Maybe I will get something published. That's later on, perhaps. I like having books like these as reference, something I can go back to and read to see if there's any interesting information I can glean from them. This is On Writing Well, the classic guide to writing nonfiction, 30th anniversary edition. Never been opened. College students, they go to college, they do stuff, but I'm convinced they don't go to their library and read books. I have no idea what college students do in college these days. And I say that after recently graduating college in my mid 40s, mid to late 40s. This looks interesting. Creative writing career interviews with video game writers, screenwriters, and novelists. This this looks interesting. I was looking at this earlier, thinking, "Oh, this I might enjoy reading this." Based on a lifetime of struggling to make it as a creative writer, creative writing career, becoming a writer of movies, video games, and books is a guide for aspiring writers to help them position themselves in an extremely competitive field. Yes, anything creative is going to be competitive. The book includes information on the writing process and ways to improve one's craft, but mostly focuses on how to get discovered and where to concentrate energy in the meantime. I'm going to enjoy this book. This book looks interesting. Yeah, tried not to cough in the microphone and could not reach my cough button in time. Check, catching up with the chat here. It's this melted copper. It's like my typing. I had a stroke. Steamboat Willie had the first. Yes, yes, that's true. That's going to be interesting because at least the Steamboat version of Mickey Mouse is public domain. The actual Mickey Mouse, I think, is still trademarked or copyrighted or whatever. But yeah, at least there's a version of Mickey Mouse out there that people can play with. Let's see. I haven't read a physical book since going to digital years ago. Yeah, I can understand that. It's just something about the physical, tactile feel of picking up a book and opening it up and breezing through the pages and whatnot. It's something tangible you can hold in your hands. Plus, you don't need to worry about charging it up or changing the batteries. It's kind of interesting that way. Oh, yes. Hello, Dead Man Walking. Hi there. Thank you for joining me tonight. Very cool. So yeah, this live stream, I'm going to be chatting about some books I picked up from a college bookstore. I was traveling around, uh, checking out some. Well, let's see, a few. I want to say in October, well, September, October last year, I checked out some antique stores that were closing out and picked up a lot of books they had for practically nothing. And then a couple of months back, there was a college library not too far from where I live that had a big book sale. And I really was interested in going there and finding some reference books for my own personal library. Let's see, this is How to Write a Lot, a practical guide to productive academic writing. Sounds incredibly dry, but I might glean something out of that. This is new, revised, and updated Sidfield Screenplay, The Foundations of Screenwriting. And it's slightly damaged here because I tried removing the stupid library sticker that all the libraries like to put those stickers on their books and uh, stickers on the back. I still haven't removed that one because I'm afraid to. Now, if I pull that one off, it will probably tear the book. But yeah, might be an interesting read there. How to write for a general audience on writing well. This one's neat. I'm probably going to enjoy this. The Right Brain Workbook. Imaginative writing, the elements of craft, the elements of style. That might be interesting. It's covered. Libraries, I guess they like to put stickers all over their books and then take those big ink stamps, the ones that go ka-chunk, because I've tried like three different styles of ink erasers to erase those stamps, library stamps, like such and such library book. But yeah, that's talk about something that will never come off. Those library stamps are something else. So I'm kind of looking at these, chatting about my interest in creative writing, something I used to do quite a bit 30 some odd years ago, but then got out of it. So I'm looking through these books thinking, I'm kind of separating them between ones that might be interesting to read through, than ones that might be for general reference. This is a playful way to serious writing. And anything can happen workbook to inspire and delight. Very cool. I'm going to put that in the possible. Professional techniques for video game writing. Okay. This could be a interesting reference book. Oh, I like physical media too. The Missus has so many, but the content can't be changed, like 3K DVDs and Blu-rays. Yes, yes, yes. Plus, if there's no physical media and it's streaming only, then you don't know how that's going to be edited and re-uploaded and restreamed, because we've seen so many examples of TV shows and movies that have recently been edited or altered, and it's like that you're at the mercy of the streamer and the studio doing whatever with their own content. And I'm just dropping stuff all over my desk. Dropping books here, there, books everywhere. Gravity, it's a downer. No, goodness. Picking up more here. Uh, write great fiction. Plot and structure. Techniques and exercises for crafting a plot that grips readers from start to finish. Okay, that could be interesting. Characters, emotion, and viewpoint. Techniques and exercises for crafting dynamic characters and effective viewpoints. Write great fiction. So this looks like it could have been part of a series, but by the time I got to the college library bookstore, like mid morning, a little bit before 10 a.m., there was like a horde of people going through boxes and boxes of books that were out, that they were just giving away. It's like, take these or we'll throw them in the dumpster. And it's like, seriously? The art of dramatic writing. Its basis in the creative interpretation of human motives. That sounds really dry. That could be a reference book, so I'll put that in the reference pile. Screenwriting. Yeah, because of script writing. Anything involving, oh, even comic books are scripted. And you think about how to write, how the format behind writing a comic book, that's going to be scripted out. And let me see. Well, they have an example of a script. Yeah, they got plenty. Yeah, some of these I'm going to have to spend some time and digging into them. Yeah, that's going to be a neat one to breeze through. Then lastly, let's see. Yeah, that's all the ones I've got cleaned up for presentation. The Everyday Writer. Today's students want to be producers of knowledge, not just consumers of things others have said. Oh, goodness. That's wishful thinking. That quote is an interesting quote. Today's students want to be producers of knowledge, not just consumers of things others have said. Andrea A. Lunsford. You would certainly hope so, but I can tell you, after graduating college, like 5, I don't know, how long ago? How's it? 7, 8 years ago now. Put myself through college the second time in my mid 40s. I had this notion in my early 30s of going to college, getting my degrees and such, and teaching at a college level. But having just seen what's coming out of high schools right now, it's like, no, no, I don't have the patience to deal with kids coming out of high schools right now. The right brain. Some of these look fun. Some of these will be fun to reads. Let's see. Melted Copper. It's a cookbook. Yeah, yeah, it did look like a cookbook, doesn't it? That little spiral binder on there. Killer Rabbit from Space says, in my city, we have a charity book sale 4 times a year. The money goes to the Children's Hospital of Winnipeg. That's cool. Yeah, out around where I live, depending on how many towns over I want to drive to, it's depends on which antique store or which bookstore is having a sale. Some will have like box sales, like you get a big old box and you can fill it with books, and you just pay $10 for a box, no matter how full it is. Like you can, if you can cart it out there, you just pay $10 for everything, which is kind of cool. I haven't been to one of those yet. Estate sales are good for collecting books. If there's any books you're trying to find to fill a collection, like I'm trying to find some Isaac Asimov I don't already own. I'm trying to find the series for what is it? The movie I really enjoyed. Oh, Doc Savage, Man of Bronze. There's like 180 something books in that series. A little uh, book series for that. Yeah, it's like little things like that. I'm trying to find fun books to read, any old Star Wars books, Star Wars novels, Star Trek novels, things like that. So I've pretty much blown through all those that I want to chat about. Didn't want to bore you all with all that. And I've already hit almost the 30-minute mark on that. So the next thing I wanted to get into for tonight, my first live stream of the new year. Like everybody's been talking about what movies are coming out or what TV shows are coming out that they're looking forward to. So yeah, I'm going to do the same thing as well. Oh, 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 I'm pushing the wrong buttons here. There we go. All right, so let me go back to this, or aha. Ha ha ha. All right. That time I was able to make the cough button too. All right. So this is Inverse. There are actually a few TV shows I'm actually looking forward to catching. Some that I have been waiting for since the previous year. This is a Inverse article: 15 most exciting sci-fi TV shows coming out in 2024. Well, I'll be the judge of that. It's been a huge year for science fiction television, from Last of Us to What If. That's not a good way to start this article. Yeah, right there. That's not going to win any points with me. Echo. No, not looking forward to that. Don't care. True Detective Night Country. Oh, I've heard of this series, but I have not watched a single episode of True Detective. I keep hearing about it. It's HBO. True Detective has been hit and miss since its nearly perfect first season. But Night Country looks to bring the HBO series back to its roots with a mystery set in Alaska and starring Jodie Foster. Hmm, that could be cool. I haven't even seen the first season of it. I keep hearing about it, keep reading about it. It's like, yeah, I may make the time to check out the first season of that. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a spy comedy based on the 2005 film of the same name. Nah. I already seen the film, and I believe that a TV show based on a film's already been done, and this does not bring anything new to the table. So I don't believe I'm going to be checking that out. Avatar: The Last Airbender. For anyone who grew up watching the old Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series, now you've been disappointed by that old. Oh, this actually mentions the 2010 movie. Yeah, that was pretty bad. That 2010 movie was pretty awful. This is on Netflix, and from what I've read earlier, like a few months ago, they had creative differences with the uh, series creators. So they have split with the series creators, and they've pretty much done their own thing. And it's coming out February of this year on Netflix. And I don't know if I'll be interested in it. From what I've read about it, there's a few changes to the source material, and yeah, I'll probably skip it. It's never a good idea when you change the source material and change the lore. It's like, yeah, why even bother at that point? If you change drastically, you might as well do something really creative and make your own original TV show. And this article says three body problem. I've never heard of that. March 20th, 21st on Netflix. Okay, another Netflix adventure. Oh, Game of Thrones showrunners Benioff and Weiss may have fumbled that show's ending, which may or may not be why which may or may not be why their Star Wars trilogy was quietly canceled, and which had many, many people laughing hysterically, even though we hated what they did with the last couple of seasons or three of Game of Thrones. But they are looking to turn things around with an epic new sci fi series based on the critically acclaimed novels. Mm-hmm. More book adaptations. Oh boy. Three Body Problem follows a Chinese astrophysicist who makes one decision in the 1960s that ends up having huge ramifications over time and space. Don't you hate that when that happens? A perfect fit for Netflix's time bending pedigree that includes shows like Dark, 1899, and Bodies. Okay, this will be a definite maybe. If it gets good reviews, good initial reviews and traction out there, I'll give it a shot. I kind of liked the first season of Dark, a German time travel sci-fi series that was really well dark in tone, but second season, I was having a hard time getting into the second season of Dark. 1899 was a really interesting TV show that had a really interesting twist at the end. Excuse me while I cough a bit. No cold or anything, but allergies where I am is crazy. Oh, and checking out the chat here, Melted Copper says, sick original, I want to use a known name, make something weird instead, and blame fans for hating it. Yes, yes. That is becoming the tried and true formula for producers and directors nowadays. It's like, yeah, let's take something that has a huge fan base and will alter the characters and alter the writing behind it. And then when people don't like the changes made to it, we can blame the fans. But yeah, that's a whole nother topic for another show. Let's see. Fallout. Hmm. 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 And again, I say, I had seen the trailer for this and it looks kind of interesting. I don't know anything about the Fallout. I've never played the games. I don't know anything about the lore of the games. Boy, after Last of Us proved video games could make for great prestige TV shows, I couldn't get past the third episode of Last of Us. I gave it a shot, and it just got to a point where it wasn't appealing to me. That, and I'm honestly kind of tired of the zombie genre. Zombies have been played out. We really need to move on to something besides zombies. But anyway, set in a nuclear wasteland, Fallout doesn't adapt any specific game in the series, instead, depicting an entirely new adventure in this familiar post apocalypse. Okay, this would really be for the fans of the Fallout series to decide if it's good or not. Because once you say it doesn't adapt any specific game in the series, that could be a red flag for many, many fans. So I'll put this as a tentative maybe. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't be good. Maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe I won't spend time to check it out. The Boys season 4. Oh, they're up to season 4 now. Wow. I finished season 1 and really felt gross having finished season 1. So it's not my cup of tea. But for those of those out there that enjoyed it, that's great. More power to you. You've got more content on the way. Oh, and looks like Fallout is coming to Prime Video. The Boys season 4 is coming to Prime Video. One I'll check out, one I'll skip. Invincible season 2, part 2. I have not watched season 1. I've read about season 1. I've checked it out some. Don't believe I finished a whole episode of Invincible. Some things I just don't find appealing. Oh, checking the chat real quick. Fallout, man, that man has no nose. How does he smell? Terrible. Ah, yes. I think I know where you got that joke from. Ah, Comic Relief Crusader. Hello. Thank you for joining in the chat tonight. It's cool to see you here. Hope things are going well for you all out there. Having a good New Year's so far, that we're a whole day into the new year. Oh, and for anybody out there who is a fan of the Justified TV series, I believe this character in Fallout is portrayed by Walton Goggins, the actor who played Boyd Crowder on Justified. Oh, goodness. You're full of cheese and buns and meat. That's cool. Yeah, I just had a New Year's traditional Southern New Year's dinner that was like pork, salted pork, black-eyed peas, cornbread, greens, all the stuff that Southerners eat during New Year's. Yes. It's like eventually I will go back to a diet, or go back to thinking about going on a diet after Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's dinners. It's like that's like a month of eating. It's like gluttony is like part of the American culture. So you're stuffed too. Oh yes, yes, yes. Gonna have more leftovers for maybe another day or two. Then we'll finally be done with the leftovers from New Year's dinner. But yeah, it's been fun. Fireworks. Man, I was up till like 2 a.m. waiting for people in my neighborhood to get done popping fireworks and a bunch of other things that make noise like bang, 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 bang. But yeah, it's like when you live out in the country and you're not in a city or municipality or whatever, you're out in the country, you have a little bit more leeway to pop fireworks throughout the neighborhood and such. It's like I could go out in my front yard and watch my neighbors pop some fireworks, or I could go out in my back property and watch the neighbors behind me pop fireworks. But yeah, it was good. Let's see the next on this list: House of the Dragon season 2. Okay, I kind of enjoyed season 1. There are some things in the show I particularly didn't care for, but yeah, I may or may not check out season 2 of House of the Dragon. Agatha Darkhold Diaries. This is also the second or third time that the title of the show has been changed. I imagine by the time it does come out in late 2024 on Disney Minus, they'll probably change the title of the show another couple of times. Who knows? But a spin-off character from WandaVision. No, I'm going to skip this. I didn't care for WandaVision. It started off kind of interesting, and then it just took a nosedive. So yeah, skip it. The Penguin. Late 2024 on HBO Max. The Penguin, the Batman, or the Batman, set 1 week after the Batman. No. I know I've watched the Batman. I just don't remember it, or don't remember that much about it. I remember it was like a sparkly vampire boy playing Bruce Wayne, or an emo version of Bruce Wayne. But beyond that, nah, I didn't care for it. The Rings of Power season 2 on Amazon Prime Video. Have not seen season 1. Never will see season 1. Will never see season 2. So skip it. Skeleton Crew on Disney Minus. What is this? There are only 2 Star Wars series slated for 2024, but they're both incredibly exciting. If you say so. Skeleton Crew, created by Spider-Man director John Watts, is a youth-focused adventure featuring Judd Law that attracts some huge names, blah, blah, blah. So is this a Star Wars property? With any luck, it could be Stranger Things of Star Wars. Okay. All right. No, no. No, it's Star Wars on Disney Minus. That's a skip. That's a skipper. Oh, look at that. The Acolyte. I don't know this much about it. What little I've read is like it's another skipper on Disney Minus. What is number? Oh, look at this. Daredevil. Nope, 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 nope. So that's MCU, Star Wars, Prime. Now this is a terrible, terrible list. This is there's like 2 shows on here I might be remotely interested in. And honestly, when I was setting up for this live stream, I was going through uh, many other lists of the most exciting TV shows coming out in 2024. It was, whether it's like the 15 most exciting or the 20 most exciting or the 30 most exciting. They were all about the same. So I found myself thinking I can talk about the stuff that's coming out, or I can spend a little bit of time talking about some TV shows that I find myself just going back to and re-watching. You know, you talk about comfort food you like to eat because it makes you feel comfortable or whatnot. Well, I like to think of it as comfort TV shows that I so enjoyed that I will go back and rewatch a few episodes or a few seasons of which and just thoroughly enjoy them because they go back to a time when, well, TV shows are just so much better written 20, 30, 40 years ago. Not like the crap we have today. So isn't that interesting how I kind of had that nice little segue into creative writing and showing bad writing and bad TV shows. There's certainly no how to put it, no lack of terrible TV shows out there, isn't there? All right, let me see. Going right to the first one on my list of TV shows that I'll either rewatch or ones that I am looking forward to. This is one of the ones I'm looking forward to coming back. Silo Season 2. This is a Collider article. Silo heads back underground as Season 2 resumes filming in the UK. They had to pause because of that stupid writer's strike. Well, I won't say stupid strike because I actually don't know the particulars behind it. It could be important. I have no idea. I haven't dug into it. But yeah, if you've seen season 1 of Silo, you might have found yourself enjoying it. It was pretty interesting. I won't go back and recap all of it, but of course, season 1 left off with a major cliffhanger as Juliet finally discovers the truth about what's beyond the silo. So yeah, Oh, oops! I should have said something like spoilers, but nah. After so long, you either watch it or you don't, or you haven't, or you don't care to watch it. Season 2 will tie everything in the series neatly together. That is really good. I'm looking forward to this. I hope they do an excellent job with it. Let's see. Of course, season 1 started in May 5th of 2023. It is on Apple Plus TV, the streaming service I keep forgetting exists. Apple Plus. It's like there's Hulu, there's Netflix, there's HBO Max, there's Disney, and oh yes, there's Apple Plus. Oh, what's this? Melted copper. I mostly watch YouTube or more like listen to, like it's old timey radio. Yes, yeah, I can understand that. And Hollywood can't grasp the common dude, and can the world can film and make stuff now. Most of their stuff is filmed in Canada and Atlanta, anyhow. Yeah, yeah. And what I've noticed is a lot of TV shows out there. Well, a lot of stuff I see on Disney somehow feels formulaic. It's like I've seen this formula before. It's the same thing over and over again. But yeah, there's actually some shows I'm looking forward to catching up again. Silo is one of them. Okay, and hitting the wrong button. Screen Rant. Screen Rant article again talking about Silo. The perfect sci fi TV show to watch while waiting for Silo Season 2. Okay, this one I was completely unfamiliar with. While waiting, fans can watch Beacon 23 on MGM Plus. Hmm, a sci fi show with a similar premise to Silo, which is already renewed for a second season. Okay. Beacon 23 Season 2 will be released in April of 2024, months before Silo Season 2 likely premieres. That's interesting because I this is the first I'm hearing or reading about Beacon 23 is the perfect replacement for Silo fans. Okay. The sci-fi show created by Zach Penn and based on Hugh Howey's short story series of the same name revolves around two people trapped together at the end of the universe in the 23rd century. Halen works as a keeper of a lighthouse in space, a beacon that helps guide passing ships, and Aster mysteriously finds herself at the lighthouse. The two are weary of trusting one another, and as the show goes on, secrets are revealed that change everything. Hmm. Okay. I will add that to my to watch list or maybe check out list and give that a shot and see what happens. Of course, while waiting for season 2 of Silo, I'll check that out, see what it's like. Ah, Melted Copper says Hollywood loves cliche, dumb formula like explaining Han's pistol, Black Widow's jacket, Wolverine's X-Men 1 jacket, and I bet Craven gets his lion vest at the end of the film. Yeah, yeah, I can probably see that. It's like I really have no faith in them producing anything that's moderately intelligent. especially after the past, what, 10 years or so? Probably safe to say 10 years or so of what they have given us as so-called entertainment. It's lacking. It's just not there. I don't get the draw. I don't get the entertainment value behind it. It's tedious, for lack of a better word. It's tedious. Like that phrase that came out. Oh, when did the phrase superhero fatigue Come out 6 months ago, 4 months ago. Anyway, there's that phrase superhero fatigue, and at first I kind of agreed with it, but then the more I thought about it, it's like, no, it's not really superhero fatigue. It's bad writing fatigue. I have bad writing fatigue. Then I read up on superhero fatigue, and I saw people making the point that superhero fatigue was like a low key way of shifting the blame back to the audience. It's like the studios can create a bad product, a bad superhero product that fans don't like, and the studios will go, oh, it's okay. It's just superhero fatigue. The audience is having superhero fatigue. It's nothing wrong with what we're doing, it's the audience. Yeah, it's yeah, that's like a low key way of blaming the audience, shifting the blame from the studios to the audience. It's like, it's not us, it's not our fault. We're making the product. People aren't watching it. Maybe they're just having fatigue. It's just superhero fatigue. And they throw up their hands. It's like, no, they don't get it. It's bad writing. It's bad writing, plain and simple. Melted Copper says, I used to be stoked for films of stuff I love. Now it's like, oh no, 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 no. Like Gremlins 3. Yeah, I don't even know what to think about Gremlins 3. I haven't even heard that. Let's see. It's not fatigue. Yeah, it's less fatigue and them making characters that don't even sell books. Marvel's Captain Marvel never held a running book. That's true. That's true. It was like they came out with a series or a volume, and it's like, oh, it might sell for like 8 or 10 issues, and they close it down because the sales trickle off. And it's like, oh, look, we've gone from volume 2 to volume 3. Now we have a new number one, a new exciting number one. And then the excitement of, oh, look, this is a number one. It might be volume 5, volume 6. But when you got the new spiffy, shiny number one issue that might have, like, oh, I don't know, a hologram or a foil embossed cover or whatnot, some gimmick cover to make it stand out more. It's like, yay. Yeah, that's what they do. Oh, Madam Web is another hero team. I'm kind of familiar with it. I've never read. I am not familiar with the characters. I know it's in the Spider-Man universe. I'm just not familiar with the characters. I think that was I stopped reading comic books like the mid 90s, like 94, 95, that time range, that point in time. So yeah, I'm just not familiar with the characters. Oh, happy New Year. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yes, happy New Year to you as well, Padawannabe. So good for see you joining in the chat here. Let's see. I read X-Men comics for quite a while. That became wallet fatigue in the 90s. Yes. Yes. Oh goodness. And the early 90s one of my first jobs, one of the jobs that I truly enjoyed, was working in a small comic book store in my hometown. I was there at the same time that had the death of Superman, the launch of Valiant and Image, and then the whole Batman versus Bane thing at that time. It was like, oh yes, and Marvel kicking it into high gear, DC kicking it in. It was crazy. The early 90s was a crazy period of time, especially if you worked in a comic book store. I had people lined up at my cash register going out the front door and down the block just for Superman number 75. The issue where he dies, it was crazy. And then so many issues of Spawn number one. I don't know how many of those I sold. Uh, I don't think they even do hologram covers. That's 90s Clone Saga Yeah, everybody was doing gimmick covers in the early 90s. Marvel, DC, Valiant, Image, some lower tier comic companies. Everybody was doing die cut, embossed, hologram, foil, prismatic, chromium, wraparound, fold out, die cut, whatever. If it was a gimmick they could stuff on a comic book cover, they did it. And I loved Valiant comics back then. They were great. Valiant, I enjoyed the storylines that Valiant Comics had, but they were silly with those chromium covers. Every book almost had, well, not every book, like your number ones, your number zeros had like the front and back chromium covers, nice and shiny. It stood out. It caught your attention on the comic book shelf. But yeah, that was the era of the gimmick cover. My boy was the Hulk, because he was mostly on his own punching heroes without four books to find. Yes, yes. Marvel Masterworks was the introduction of. Oh, yes, I remember those. I've got a few of those. I don't think I've got a complete set of the Marvel Masterworks. I've got at least two issues, I want to say, maybe one or two issues. Malibu, Dark Horse, yes. Malibu, Dark Horse. I think Comico was around in the 80s. IDW, maybe. I don't remember. There were a lot of smaller publishers back then as well. Yes, yes. X-Men number one. I remember that. I still have those books. There was like 4 or 5 books you could, like, just flop out, put one next to the other, and it's like, "Oh, look, a giant panorama." It's like, "Oh, you gotta collect them all. They'll be worth something." I had people come into my store getting excited. Well, not if they weren't in my store, I was seeing people in other comic book stores the next town over, people buying the books, getting excited, like, "Oh, yeah, we'll buy these and we'll keep them for 20, 30 years and they'll be worth something." No, no, they won't. No, sorry. Comic books are worth something because there's so few of them. Like the introduction of Superman, the first comic book with Superman in it, the first comic book with Batman in it. They're worth something because there are so few of them. When you print like 5 million, 6 million, 7 million issues or copies of X-Men number one, you're going to go to your local comic book store, go to their discount bin or their dollar bin. You'll probably find an X-Men number one there. I don't know. Let's see. Intro to Hellboy back then. X-Men had so many gimmicks in the glossy comic book pages instead of newsprint. Yeah. And that's when the prices of the book started creeping up as well. Like I can remember them going from like 75 cents to a buck and a quarter, a buck 50, a buck 75. Then it was like $2, then 2.50. Alex Ross innovated the painted style. Yes, those were beautiful images. Those were beautiful covers. Maybe the next best since Image, guys. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember where I heard this, but I like to think at that time the Image books had the art, the Valiant books had the good writing. Because I remember people walking in my store just getting excited about this Image book or that Image book, how great the art was, and I was like, "Guys, have you read this Valiant book? It's got a great story behind it." And I'd look at it and go, "Well, yeah, that's nice. Look at this Image book. Look at this character. This isn't this art great?" And it's like, "Yeah, guys, the art's great, but there's more to a book than the art." Again, books are wordy. They have words. They have words that are strung together to make sentences, and sentences that develop the plot. Unless you just want to get a picture book and just look at the pretty pictures. Yeah, McFarlane, goodness. Good friend of mine a long time ago had a lot of the McFarlane toys. He had like uh, an office, his office space in his home. He just had McFarlane toys hanging all over the walls, still in the bubble packages. Never took them out of the packages. They were still in the packaging. They just had them like hanging one after the other from almost, I won't say like floor to the ceiling, maybe from the ceiling to like midway. Valiant, that Exo Man of War. Yes, yes. Valiant had Solar Man of the Atom, Turok, Magnus Robot Fighter, Exo Man of War, Archer and Armstrong, The Harbinger, Ninjak, so many other great titles out there, great storylines. The Harbingers they were compared to the X-Men. They were a superhero team. They're like a oh, I forget where I saw this. Somebody called them like the grown-up version of the X-Men. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z, where fights have no story and it's half hours screaming in the air and comically large fireballs with no civilians. Yes, yes. I remember some hype around the comic book called the Max. Yeah, yeah, I remember the Max. There was a Max, and then I want to say there was an animated series on the Max as well. It was on what was I want to say it was on HBO. Yeah, it was very strange. It was one of the better known Image books at the time, like Savage Dragon, Spawn, Supreme. There were a number of good Image books I didn't mind reading, and then some that I didn't particularly get into. I didn't get into Spawn. I didn't get into what was it, Savage Dragon. I didn't think I got into that one too much. It's the Turok has a Nintendo 64 game. Yeah, the character Turok goes back to like the old Gold Key comics. I've got like couple of the old Gold Key comics from like the I don't know what it was, 50s or 60s, because that's where some of the Valiant characters came from. They had managed to get the rights to the old Gold Key or old Whitman comics characters like Solar Man of the Atom. He was a Gold Key comic book. Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, Magnus Robot Fighter. So they had some old characters from way back when that Valiant had managed to get the rights to and I thought it was really cool what they did with them. Max had an MTV. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. MTV. I was thinking it was HBO, but it was MTV. Liquid TV, MTV show. Yep, yep. Like the head and Aeon Flux. Yeah. Savage Dragon had a cartoon too. Eric Larson, an old Hulk artist. Yes. Yeah, I don't have any Turok comics, so I do have a few Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I've heard of that, but I don't recall ever reading it. Spawn had an HBO cartoon. That's what I'm thinking of. I knew one of them had an HBO cartoon. Yeah, I just couldn't remember. It was one of them. But yeah, those were the days. Alright, gonna go a little bit longer and then gonna wrap the show up. I was talking about some TV shows I was looking forward to. Then I'm gonna go back to, TV shows that are like comfort TV. Shows that I will just have no problem watching start to finish. Todd would appear in an alley making his best grip keeper. Okay. Yes. Now, Babylon 5. Babylon 5 is like one of my all-time favorite sci-fi TV shows ever made. It's like one of the best things I've seen in the past 30, 40 years. I mean, if I think about the depth behind the story and the development of the characters, it's just truly amazing. I will have no problem grabbing my Babylon 5 DVDs and rewatching them all over again. It's just one of the series that I found myself truly enjoying. And let's see. I am triggered. Babylon 1 through 4 didn't get made. Where's Oh, yes, yes. Well, George Lucas was busy with other stuff. J. Michael Straczynski, I think he has a pretty good handle on things. My fuzzy tail is getting tired, so I have to say good night. And oh, that's cool. I understand. Thank you for joining us tonight, Killer Rabbit. So cool seeing you in the chat. So good night. Have pleasant dreams and whatnot, and we'll all have a good tomorrow, and hopefully good rest of the year. Yes, yes, yes. No, there'll never be Babylon 1 through 4. It's strictly just Babylon 5. No, no, it's Babylon 5 only. Yeah, one of the best. If I were to make a top 5 or top 10 all-time favorite list of sci-fi TV shows, Babylon 5 would be like my number 1. And if there was something better, it would be like number 2. But yeah, number 1, definitely number 1. And of course, for those who haven't seen it or have never seen it, have no idea what it is, television series created by blah, 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 blah. J. Michael Straczynski. Yes, I can speak. Let's see. First aired on the Primetime Entertainment Network way back in January 26th of 1994. A long time ago now. Crazy. It was a 5-year, 5-season story arc that had a great planned story arc from had a definite beginning, middle, and end. Something that so few TV shows nowadays have. Uh, if you can think of a long running TV show, you can think at some point, or you might find yourself thinking at some point, man, this show is just dragging on and on. It's like they're milking this show for what it's worth. Like 10 seasons of wow, ever how many seasons of Star Trek Next Gen were made. They just drugged that out. Let's see what I was Supernatural. Didn't really care for the show myself, but I had a lot of friends who dug it, who got into it. It ran a long time, and it's like I couldn't believe that show went for so long. But yeah, Supernatural, insanely long run, and then they just like ended it. I've never actually seen the last last episodes. I might have started the last season to see where they were, but I had like skipped a lot of it, so I didn't particularly care. But yeah, it's Babylon 5 was one of the shows that had a long story arc, an overarching story arc from beginning to end. It was kind of unheard of because a lot of TV shows just ran and ran and ran, and if the writers got lost or confused, didn't have a good ending, you could tell in the writing and in the production. It's like, where is this show going? Oh, great example of that would be Lost or maybe Heroes. I think Lost would be a better example of that because Lost started strong, and then it quite literally got lost in the writing. Like midway through, we all had no idea what they were doing with this TV show. It's like, what's the point of it? Come on, guys, wrap it up. Why are you going? How are you going to end this show? And then when they did get around to ending this show, it's like, oh, this ending is stupid. You started strong and then you ended stupid. But yeah, it's like great writing, great characters, uh, great cast of actors. Let's see, 5 seasons, 22 episodes each. Pretty good sci-fi effects at the time, but yeah, it was kind of pales in comparison to today's sci-fi effects. Let's see. Melted Copper says I had the same trouble searching for Deep Space. 7%. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's a coincidence. Two space station shows appeared within a number at the same time that weren't connected at all. Oh, yes. Are you familiar with the story behind that? Because that is actually a pretty good story behind that. When J. Michael Straczynski was shopping his idea for his TV show around to the networks, and he had approached the network. Uh, oh, crap. I can't think of it. It's where DS9 came on, but before this network put out DS9, Deep Space Nine, J. Michael Straczynski took his idea to them for Babylon 5 first. Of course, they rejected him, but then some of the studio executives said, hey, some of those ideas were pretty good. Maybe we could rework them into a Star Trek show. And of course, Babylon 5 hit the ground running. Then DS9 came out, and a lot of Babylon 5 fans were like, hey, wait a minute. Hold on there, Sparky. So yeah, you can if you don't know the backstory behind all that, it's an interesting read. You can check it out sometime. It was interesting. It's I don't think anything bad happened. I think there was like a mutual agreement about who came out first or who copied who. It's like Babylon 5 was the original, and now it's safe to say Babylon 5 is far superior to Star Trek DS9. Let's see, the CW Flash started good, then it became a cluster of everyone. Yeah, I was kind of interested in the Flash and the Arrow shows at that time. Even though they did have changes to the characters, they had race swaps, they had gender swaps and whatnot. The Flash, they changed some of the characters. The Arrow, or what should have been Green Arrow, they changed some of the characters. They changed some of the lore behind Green Arrow. Both shows go good for the first season or two, but then after the season two, they both started going downhill in season three. I couldn't even keep up with the Flash. I think I gave up on it on season four, season five. I gave up on the Arrow. Maybe I honestly don't remember. Those CW Arrowverse shows were so bad. I remember Legends of Tomorrow had some pretty good cast of actors, but I felt they were uh, they were above Legends of Tomorrow. Like you had Brandon Routh. Brandon Routh was Superman. He had been in a number of TV shows and movies prior to that, and I quite liked him as Superman. Didn't care for the script that he had, but yeah, it's like he could have done so much better. Let's see here. Flash was a show I chose to watch with my mom since my sister owned Sundays. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that's understandable. Let's see. Oh, and for fans of Babylon 5, there's been much talk over the past year of a reboot of Babylon 5 by the original creator, J. Michael Straczynski. He's been working on that for some time, and it's quite exciting. Let's see. This article goes into some interesting things. This is another inverse article on the most resilient sci-fi show just set up a massive reboot, and it goes into the spoilers, or it goes into spoilers on the new Babylon 5 movie, Babylon 5: The Road Home. Just came out. It's an animated full-length feature. Um, yeah, no spoilers, but what they did with that is like that was a very clever way of doing a nice soft reboot to the franchise. Nice way of doing that. Let's see. Legends of Tomorrow, Doctor Who, Loki, time travel removes all stakes from your drama. Yeah, yeah. There are times there might be one or two movies or TV shows with time travel that I found myself enjoying. But for the most part, I don't particularly care for time travel as a plot device unless it's done in a unique way or an interesting way. Like Back to the Future. Back to the Future franchise was a fun series involving time travel. I used to like Doctor Who because they did more than just time travel. But then when the era I got into the Doctor Who was the '80s, and that was like the first time I ever saw Tom Baker, all teeth and curls and this outrageously long flowing scarf. But yeah, that was back when it was fun. And then there's an anime. called Steins Gate. For those out there who enjoy anime, if you like time travel, you should check out an anime called Steins Gate. It did time travel in a fairly intelligent manner, I thought. Let's see. Yes, yes. Unfortunately, it's been 40 years, and yeah, unfortunately, half the cast have passed on. So that's another thing. Straczynski, the creator of the show, is having a workaround. He's having to recast practically everybody. But with this last movie, The Road Home, he did a soft reboot in a way where he could reboot the show and utilize current sci-fi or special effects technology that he has access to now that he didn't have in the early 90s. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does with his reboot of Babylon 5. I have faith in him. Kind of like I would have faith with George Lucas if George Lucas came back to Star Wars somehow, if he was able to wrest control of Star Wars away from Disney and find good people to work with him to reboot Star Wars. So yeah, George Lucas gave us Star Wars. Um, we have the creator Gene Roddenberry behind Star Trek, and then J. Michael Straczynski gave us Babylon 5, some of the best sci-fi franchises out there before two of them met their unfortunate demise at with their studios. Let's see. Time travel works if you chase a guy and the effects on that guy. I don't quite follow that. I mean, the effects of time travel on somebody as they're traveling through time. I'm not quite following that. Oh, yes. Getting into another TV show that I thoroughly loved and enjoyed. Farscape, brought to us by the Jim Henson Company. I mean, before Farscape ran for what, 4 or 5 seasons from 1999 to 2004. There was nothing on TV like Farscape. The casting, the characters, the special effects, the drama behind the show. Again, this, like Babylon 5, this is a show I could like walk over to my DVD shelf, pull the box set off, plop it in my DVD player, and just start watching it, start to finish. Like I said, like I said, Babylon 5 would be number one in my top five. Farscape would be number 1B or number 1A or number two. It's like, depending on how I feel, they could be interchangeable. Like, oh, Farscape could be number one. Babylon 5 could be number one. They could both be tied for number one. That's how much I dug these two shows. Let me see here. Rowan J. Coleman has a nice catalog of sci-fi documentaries. Yes, I have watched a few of his. Quite entertaining. I haven't watched a great many, but I've caught like I want to say 2 or 3 of them after I came across his channel. I was like, "Oh, these are nice. This is entertaining." Farscape, for those out there who might not be familiar with it, who have never heard about Farscape, produced by the Jim Henson Company. So yes, you're going to get Muppets, space Muppets, but they don't feel like space Muppets. Once you get used to once you get used to the characters and the look of the show, uh, you suspend your disbelief and you find yourself drawn into that world. I'll quickly go over it here. Astronaut John Crichton assumes he'll be home for dinner, but a freak accident during an experimental space mission catapults him across 1,000 galaxies. I'd say across the galaxy to an alien battlefield. Suddenly, he's trapped among alien creatures wielding deadly technology. Battle that the 20th century sci-fi pop culture never prepared him for. Hunted by a merciless military race, Crichton begins his quest for home from a galaxy far, far. Okay, I don't like how this is written. Basically, this astronaut, John Crichton, was testing a new mini shuttle, kind of like a orbital shuttle, where he's testing a new way of breaking a speed barrier, and he gets uh, flung through a wormhole into a distant part of the galaxy, where he finds himself surrounded by all these crazy looking alien races. What's this? Star Wars used space Muppets. Why does Star Trek love gluing stuff to people's heads? Uh, if I was cynical, I would say lack of imagination, but I also chalk it up to maybe budget. Maybe they didn't have the budget to work with. But again, looking at shows like Babylon 5 and Farscape that probably had much less money to work with, and their set design is simply amazing. The special effects, the set designs, the look and feel, the world creation behind Farscape is simply amazing. I cannot recommend this show enough. Star Trek should use more space puppets over the good old fashioned glue stuff to a person's face. Yes, yes. Yes, the what was it? The forehead ridges, the pointy ears, the funny noses. Yes. Yeah, occasionally you might get a unique looking alien race in Star Trek, but yeah, it was like Next Gen was known for that. They were bad for that. Like Next Gen was known for that, and I felt like oddly, I remember a point in the run of Star Trek Next Gen that they relied heavily on technobabble and Data doing something with the deflector dish to solve the problem or the crisis they were facing, and then the episode would end. It was like a running gag for the show. It felt like it's like problem, reaction, solution. Oh, here's a problem. Look at us reacting. Data, what do we do? Technobabble, technobabble. Look, front deflector dish, and boom, problem solved. Weird is CGI humans like Snoke and the tentative Disney Snow White dwarves. You can just hire dwarves and an old guy. Do they need CGI? I don't know. For like Snoke on the Star Wars sequel trilogy, yeah, that was pretty bad. That was a very bad character to begin with because there was no grounding for that character, no history or anything to ground that character to the franchise. Like, why is he there? What is his purpose? What is the point to him? If you can't answer those questions, then you have a bad character. Disney Snow White dwarves, yeah. if that Disney Snow White even comes out. I have this feeling that this movie might get shelved just simply from the backlash. If TNG aliens either got odd noses or a forehead piece, I thought the actress. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Babylon 5, that's one thing they really did because they had a variety of alien races on Babylon 5, a unique variety of alien races on Farscape. Now, these were two incredible shows. They stay in my top 5 of all-time favorite sci-fi TV shows. I highly recommend these shows for anybody out there who has never watched them, never checked them out, have no idea what they are. Try them, see if you like them. Uh, a common complaint I've heard with Babylon 5 was the first season was hard to get through, or oh, I just couldn't get into the first season. That's understandable. If you push your way through the first season of Babylon 5, the second season of Babylon 5 hits the ground running and it just takes off and it doesn't stop until season 4 or midway through season 5 when the series starts to wrap up. Let's see. Moving right along here. Oh, yes. Farscape, Rotten Tomatoes. Give you an idea of how good Farscape was. It's got a very high score. It's rare I see shows with this high score, 90%, 84%. Ben Browder, Claudia Black, Anthony Simcoe, John Hardy. It was like made in, where was it made? Australia, New Zealand. So you've got a lot of Australian actors in the show, and it's pretty interesting. Ben Browder and Claudia Black later went over to the last 2 seasons of Stargate SG-1 after Farscape wrapped up. Let's see. Moving right along here, another excellent TV show that I really enjoyed watching, Dark Matter. Excuse me while I take another drink of water here. Keep my throat from getting dry. Dark Matter ran for 3 seasons. Had an interesting assortment of characters. No aliens, much like Firefly. It's humanity dealing with humans. No aliens. The premise of the show is you have 5 people wake up from like suspended animation or cryo sleep on a spaceship. They have amnesia. They can't even remember who they are, where they came from, what they're doing on the ship. And slowly they have to piece their previous lives together and essentially find their way through the universe. And they find themselves in the middle of a numerous crazy situations because they end up being mercenaries and they're having to find out that they're mercenaries, but they're having to deal with corporate, how to put it, not corporate espionage, but like corporate warfare or warfare between corporations, rival corporations, and then the government in the series that kind of like keeps the peace on everything. It was a really good series. Good start, good second season, good third season. It wrapped some things up, but unfortunately, it ended on a cliffhanger. And I don't know if we'll ever get a season 4. Unfortunately, it ended on a cliffhanger, and then the show was canceled. I hate it when that happens. There should be like a law against that. Oh, Snoke isn't just bad design, but he sort of undercuts the show since the prequel shows mean they all gotta die. Yes, making Thrawn nothing and Grogu dies at. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the way they did the sequel trilogy, having anything come before that or after that, it's like, how do they dance around the sequel trilogy when it presents so many problems with the franchise? Of course, you have the Mandalorian and Thrawn taking place. Well, I take that back. Does that take place before or after the trilogy, the sequel trilogy? I want to. It probably leads up to the sequel trilogy. I'm not sure. I thought I knew, but then I got to a point where I just stopped caring. Yeah, I just got to a point where I stopped caring about Star Wars or Disney Star Wars. I still love the original trilogy, and I still love the comic books and the novels and the expanded universe and whatnot. But it's just it's what Disney has done to the Star Wars franchise that has damaged it. It's a real shame too. Yeah, okay. Mandalorian is between Jedi and the new stuff. Yes, yes. All roads lead to Disney sequel trilogy, unfortunately. Yep. Yeah, yeah. That's the unfortunate part when you've got a bad trilogy and you're having to incorporate it into bad TV shows like Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and whatever else they try to come out with. Which is why I find myself more and more going back to older TV shows that I enjoy, like Babylon 5, Farscape, Dark Matter, what have you. Let's see. Dark Matter, Canadian science fiction television series that premiered on the Space Channel in Canada and Sci-Fi in the United States on June 12th of 2015. So it wasn't too long ago. It was like 9 years ago now. I rather enjoyed it. I remember Sci-Fi Channel had this show, well, back when I was watching Sci-Fi Channel. They had this show airing right before another show called The Killjoys. And for some reason, Sci-Fi Channel was promoting The Killjoys, another sci-fi TV show, a lot more than they were promoting Dark Matter. Dark Matter tells the story of a crew of a derelict spaceship, the Raza, awakened from stasis with no memories of who they are or how they got on board. Facing threats at every turn, they have to work together to survive a voyage charged with vengeance, a, ah, a voyage charged with vengeance, betrayal, and hidden secrets. I quite enjoyed this show. Unfortunately, 3 seasons, but I don't mind going back and rewatching them time and time again. This would be on my top 5 list. This would be like number 3 or number 4, right after Babylon 5 and Farscape. Stargate SG1 would probably be there someplace, but yeah, the ones that I care the most about, this is one of them. Oh, and back in the chat, they should CGI Tarkin the classics and do Shadows of the Empire. Yeah, what they should. That's what they should do. But what they should do and what they're actually going to do are two different things. Especially since Disney has declassified the all those extended universe or expanded universe books and comic books and whatnot. They've decanonized that so they can come up with their own cardboard cutout characters and go back and cherry pick elements from Shadow of the Empires, Heir to the Empire, and all that. They want to go back and cherry pick elements and incorporate it into their own movies and TV shows. Because if they actually went back and adapted Heir to the Empire, that's like, okay, well, you have to get the rights, you have to pay the writer the rights, the royalties to that, and then probably go as far as to bring the writer on board and have him do a screenplay of the novel. Disney is cheap. That's probably why none of the Empire bounty hunters show up. Can't pay the royalties. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have so many books, comic books, and whatnot, really expanding the lore of Star Wars. But yeah, they can't go back and use any of those without having to pay royalties. Let's see, what else was there? There was Dark Matter. Ah, yes, yes. Stargate Universe. Tying into the Stargate franchise like Stargate SG1 and Stargate Atlantis. Stargate Universe ran for, what was it, 2 seasons and then was canceled unceremoniously. I quite enjoyed it myself. It was kind of divisive with the fan base of Stargate because it was so dark and gritty. It was not like Stargate SG1 or Stargate Atlantis. It was kind of off putting to some Stargate fans, but again, I quite enjoyed it. I quite liked the casting. Plus, I liked the lead character, actor, Robert Carlyle. I quite enjoy him as an actor. I've seen him in a few other TV shows and movies before he went to Stargate Universe. It was a fun show. Got kind of dark and gritty there. Let's see, 40 episodes. What was that? 2 seasons. Went from October 2009 to May of 2011. So 13 years now. Produced by MGM. The show entered production in 2009, premiered on Sci Fi and Space. The cancellation of the show was announced on December 16th, 2010, and the final episode aired May 9th of 2011. Ended on a cliffhanger, which is a shame because I hate it when they cancel shows on cliffhangers like that. Yeah, Robert Carlyle, great actor. Quite enjoyed the cast of actors in this show. Lots of rumors going around the recent years about a new Stargate TV show or movie to revive the franchise, which would be really interesting because it does give everybody a chance to go back and find out what happened to the characters on SG1, what happened to the characters on Atlantis, what happened to the characters on Universe, especially since the way they ended it, Stargate Universe, is like they are all on essentially just waiting to be rescued somewhat. Not to give it away, but yeah, it's been like 13 years. So, spoilers. Oh, going back to chat. DC didn't want to pay for Black Lightning, so the old cartoon has Black Vulcan, the same dude. I'm not familiar. Now, I do remember a Black Lightning live action TV show that was part of the Arrowverse. I didn't mind it too much. I thought it was okay. Could have been better. Seemed kind of cheesy with its special effects, but I kind of liked the lead actor playing Black Lightning. Hmm. Was there like Atlantic Sequest with Kevin Sorbo? Uh, Atlantic Sequest. There was a Sequest DSV that no, it didn't have Kevin Sorbo. Stargate Atlantis had Jason Momoa in it before he got into movies. It was one of the few roles that had that Jason Momoa was in that I thought he did a pretty good job with. His role on Stargate Atlantis. Now, Sequest, there were like 2 seasons of Sequest with what was it? Schneider. I'm going to have to look it up now. Let me go to Sequest. Dun, dun, dun. Roy Schneider, Jonathan Brandis, Ted Raimi, created by Rodney S. O'Bannon. 3 seasons. Oh goodness, went for 3 seasons. Okay, I remember enjoying the first season of Sequest, and then the second season was such a radical change I didn't get into it. Ah, yes, yes, Andromeda. Yep, I suffered through Andromeda. Didn't mind it for the first season or two, and then again, you had the showrunner behind Andromeda leave for creative differences or some such thing, and then Kevin Sorbo stepped in and took over show running or executive producing it, and then it kind of changed a lot. The last season of Andromeda was pretty bad. Oh, hello, DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you in the chat. Hello there. Yes, you bought Sequest DSV on Blu-ray last year. That's cool. It has been so long since I watched that show. I watched it when it aired on TV. I quite enjoyed the first season, but I seem to remember when they really changed the look and feel of that series from one season to the next, and it was kind of jarring. Yeah, yeah. Season 3 went nuts, but you get to see Mark Hamill for it. Season 5 and Andromeda was awful. Yes. Yes, it certainly did. Yes, I remember kind of enjoying Andromeda. It was kind of cheesy in bits, but I kind of liked the lore building behind it, and then it just jumped the shark. It really jumped the shark at the end of season 2 going into season 3, and then going from like season 4 to season 5. And then it seemed like by the time it hit the last season, everybody had a superpower or a super ability or super awesome. And it's like, no, no, this show went downhill quick. Yeah, free with ads on YouTube. Yeah, it's probably free on some streaming service like Freevee or some such streaming service here and there. Yeah, it really did. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of weird, kind of odd. Wanted to get into it, but man, it kind of felt cheap. at times. It kind of felt cheesy, like the look and feel of it. It's like, come on, you guys could have spent a little bit more money on the wardrobe, especially like the what were supposed to be military uniforms for the oh, what was it, Commonwealth? Oh yeah, it was like the early '90s or mid '90s. It just had that look and feel to it. Yeah, Stargate Universe was another fun show. Ah, here we go. Last article, I do believe. Last article of the evening. Let me double check here. Yep, last article I was going to go over. After I was rambling on about all the TV shows I really enjoyed, the ones I have no problem going back to and rewatching just because I enjoyed them so much. A decade later, Stargate Universe stars still down for revival of sci-fi's SG-1 spinoff. And that's pretty cool because this is dated no, this is dated June 14th of 2023, so like 6 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever. Pretty recent. Let's see. It talks Universe stars Robert Carlyle and Brian J. Smith agreed that the show's ending leaves plenty of rumor for future stories, even if it's been 12 years since we last saw the crew. Yeah, we're still on the ship. Uh, they're still up in the sky, floating around on that ship. Whether someone takes it to bring them back to Earth again, who knows? Yeah, it would be fun to see them again. But yeah, it's how long have I been going? Oh, I'm almost to the 2 hour point. Yeah, one of the longest live streams I've ever done. How about that? But this has been fun going over some TV shows I've really enjoyed, some that I'm kind of looking forward to. Uh, the ones that I will always recommend: Babylon 5, Farscape, Dark Matter. Those are three solid sci-fi TV shows. Let me go back to the chat here. Da, 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 da. Born in 1980 means my head's. Yeah. Will the stasis pod work? Yeah, on Stargate Universe. It's up to the writers. If they ever bring Stargate Universe back or bring us a new Stargate TV show to expand the franchise and kind of show where the characters are. I mean, it's been ages for Richard Dean Anderson and all those others from Stargate SG-1. Yeah, time marches on for us all, and they're not getting any younger. Stargate Atlantis, they're still around. Well, some of the characters are still around. Let's see. Happy New Year. Yes. Hope everybody had a happy New Year out there, happy and safe. Popping all those fireworks. Make Samantha Carter a general. Oh, the character probably is a general at this point. I mean, O'Neill. I imagine after all this time, O'Neill has probably retired. After General Hammond has come and gone, O'Neill probably become a general. He's probably retired. So yeah, there's probably a General Samantha Carter out there. Teal'c is probably still around. Yeah, yeah, there probably still a lot of characters still running around. Plus, if they can come up with a good premise for a new show or a new reboot movie, I'm not quite clear on what the plans are. There was talk of a movie to reboot the franchise, and then there was talk of a TV series to reboot the franchise, or possibly both, like one leading into the other. It's no telling. Uh, I'm sure with the right storyline and the right creative direction, there's plenty of life to be had in the Stargate universe. It's something that we fans will have plenty to look forward to, given the current state of sci-fi TV and movies. I mean, there's just not a lot out there to look forward to. But yeah, who knows? Well, I can feel myself starting to run out of steam here, so I'm going to end it on that. I've kind of rambled on and touched on what I wanted to touch on and share what I wanted to share with everybody. It has been a blast. First show of the new year. One of my late night musings. I'm kind of slowly building into a steady streaming schedule of Mondays and Wednesdays, and maybe Friday nights. I don't know, but Monday nights and Wednesday nights are pretty good for me. Not a lot to look forward to. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when it comes to TV show and quality entertainment, it's kind of barren out there on the TV landscape, isn't it? I can remember like the 80s and 90s. I would like get home from work, eat a little dinner, turn on TV and catch some good TV shows out there. Uh Sci-Fi Channel, back when it was spelled sci-fi instead of SYFY. They had this Sci-Fi Friday, this block of TV shows on Friday nights. That was a really good block of TV shows from what I remember. This was cool. Oh, thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. Recommend buying Babylon 5 now that it's on Blu-ray. Yes. Yes, I so want that Babylon 5 Blu-ray box set. It will replace my well, it'll set next to my DVD box sets. Hopefully, they've done a good job with the transfer and updating the special effects. Let's see. Earth scattered on endless plate of entertainment through time to present. Yes, yes. Yep, it's been fun, everyone. For now, with less channels, people were more together. Yeah, yeah. Back in the early days of cable and satellite, we did have fewer channels, and entertainment had to be better to be more competitive. It's better than the Amazon HBO version of B5. And that was, oh, that's good. So they did a good transfer film scan. Oh, nice. Nice. 4:3 aspect ratio. Yep, yep. Oh, good, good. Yes, yes. There are some points you could tell the special effects on B5 were kind of showing their age. Back in the day, 7 hours on VHS was, yeah, yep. VFX, yep. But that's cool. Oh, this has been fun. First show of the new year. I've quite enjoyed sharing with you all my recommendations for TV shows and a few that I am actually looking forward to. And rambling on about some things I'm interested in. So This has been a blast. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Much more to come, hopefully, throughout the new year. Much more to come. Until next time, everyone, I'll leave you with that. Life is too short to waste on bad entertainment. Go check out something you will enjoy. Watch a good TV show or read a good book. Good night or morning or both. Yes. Yes, it's both at this point. Good night and good morning. I want to thank you all for joining me. Let me, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout everybody out. We had Killer Rabbit from Space showing up and having to go to bed early. Melted Copper, thank you for showing up. We had Dad Man Walking. Scrolling down the chat because I don't want to leave. Ah, yes, Comic Relief Crusader. Hey, dude. Comic Relief Crusader showed up. Ah, Padawannabe. Very cool. Dum 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 dum. Who else was here? I don't want to leave anybody else out. I want to make sure I say hi. Oh, DJ Ronnie G. That's right. Ah, West Kegel, thanks for the stream. Cool. Thanks for saying hi at the end. Yes, Comic Relief has a live stream tomorrow. Yep. So I'll get some sleep, do some things I need to do. Almost said tomorrow. Later today, this morning. And then I'll be on Comic Relief Crusaders show as well. But this has been fun, everyone. Thanks for joining me, whether you've been able to chat some or if you've been out there lurking or if you catch it on replay. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you all. Catch a good TV show you enjoy or read something you enjoy. Don't waste valuable time on bad entertainment. And with that, I'll leave you all. Until next time, everyone. Thank you and good night, good morning, goodbye. Woohoo!